Hey guys, or saucy cliffhangers, as Chipmunk Milk says. Great to see you. Can you hear me? Tell me you can hear me. We have microphone troubles. It's acting like I'm seeing the little bars go across, so I think it's working. I think that the raid worked from. Oh, you can hear me. Yay! This has been an issue, as you'll find out in a second, Adam. Letting you in a second. So, thanks so much for being here. I'd say normally welcome from the Queen City and Radio City and all that stuff, but it's kind of a dual. You're coming from here where we have 14 inches of snow and more to come today, but actually, we're gonna bring in my one of my best friends in this lifetime, Adam Roth, who grew up with me. Grew up, damn Bostonite, but I love the kid. When we were in our 20s, we were in New York together. And Adam is a performer. He's been a stand-up comedian. He's been an actor. He's written 2 children's books. Come from an incredibly artistic and interesting family. You may know his brother Eli Roth is a horror movie producer. His brother Gabe is a movie producer. His mom produces art for showings at various galleries. They're the most talented family maybe in the history of all damnation, or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna try to fit some jokes in here and there because I feel like I have to. I don't want the mood to get dark, but luckily there's some good news, and Adam's going to share some uplifting stories too. And I think that it's so important right now to use this platform so people know what's going on, and honestly can hear some positive things. So I'm going to invite in one of my favorite people in the world, Adam Roth, on the phone. I'm hoping I can hear you, Adam. Are you there?
Heck yeah, man. Hey, Cliff. Hey, America. Really, some chicken soup for the soul going on here. So I appreciate you guys having me just for a few.
Dude, I would honestly, if I could do more, if I could run out there and frickin' attack the flames myself, those sons of bitches. I'm just glad, honestly. I'm
Darn
just
you,
so glad.
Embers. You almost got me, Embers. But no, we're
I
still standing, Embers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Embers. Hey, f you. All right, go stick it up your arse. You know,
Yeah.
Adam's originally a Boston guy. I'm originally a New York City guy. We can curse with the best of them. I can find a way to get YouTube to demonetize me in 10 seconds by cursing too much. They do that, by the way, Adam, when I curse too much or something. So I try to only curse sparingly, but I'm going to fit a few in there. Um,
But
dude,
Cliff, your etiquette, bedside manner, and your charm lead me to believe that's very far and few between in terms of those instances. I'm
you
trying not to laugh here, man, but I'm gonna laugh.
you know me well, and your sarcasm is good. And you know, honestly, more than anything, seeing a smile on your face, talk about soup for the soul. You know, there've been rough times in a number of areas of my life lately, and you know, I've got a number of friends that are out in Los Angeles. You're one of my best friends in the world, so you're being okay. I mean, I told people your story yesterday, just in general, that a good friend of mine in Pasadena had to abandon his house with his family. They've got 2 boys like we do, which, you know, pulls on my heartstrings even more, uh, as a 2 boy family. And not that I don't care about all the rest of the families too. I'm just saying it reminds me, you know, and Adam's parents had to leave their home, which is in part of Hollywood. Is it Hollywood Hills?
It is. We're in Hollywood. No, I'm giving you guys just a quick peek. It's deceivingly serene out here. You, if you can catch what's behind me here, slightly more entertaining than I am. But there's Universal Studios, Warner Brothers lot, all in one panoramic in my family's, my dad's house and my mom's house here in Hollywood. No, so we're really just right on the Hollywood Hills. Less smoke here today. Um, but again, we are safe. We are 16 miles away from where all of the activity happened.
So talk about it a little bit, and obviously, I mean, you're talking to however many thousands of people. It depends on the day are in here. So let's not share your address. I'm sure most of the people in here are wonderful, but this also streams to Twitter, which is filled with, you know, an asylum of lunatics. You know, one,
Sure.
not just one, but many flew over the cuckoo's nest over
Yes, and
Twitter. So,
please, and to those lunatics, please refrain for the next 24 hours from looting my house. We would, on behalf of my wife and two boys, I know we would appreciate that. So far,
oh,
they've been at bay, which is great, which is
that's
great. Thanks
good.
to the law
It's
enforcement and the fire departments. It's been awesome.
And it seems like the awesome Hal Sparks also sent his people over here from Twitch. So we have Sparklers. Welcome, guys. I know you guys well from when I go on Hal's show on Monday. We got Tony Michaels, who sent his from the Tony Michaels show, sent his people over here, or Tony Michaels podcast. I need to get that right. He sent his people over here from YouTube. So hopefully as many people as possible. Because again, this is one of those episodes where meet real flesh and blood, a human being, a terrific human being who's stuck, mired in this crap, but is optimistic, is awesome. As I said, Adam was a stand-up comic and other stuff at that time, so he's got an optimistic and a hearty soul. But I think
Sure, and there's tragedy in comedy, right?
there. I mean, I was going to make a joke before about I was going to be like, really, all that stuff burned, but not the Warner Brothers lot. But I'm not.
Exactly.
But I didn't
But
make that joke. But now I did.
no,
So
no, it's okay. They have a fire department, which is, very commendable too. So I know it's all hands on deck out our way. So
I know, and I'm not being
there's been,
serious. I'm really
yeah,
not.
of
I
course.
think again, I'm a believer sometimes in at least semi gallows humor, because sometimes when you're in this situation, it's all you can do. But why don't we, when we get to you telling some stories, tell people how it began, what happened with you, and again, don't get too. And you're in Pasadena, they know that, but I don't want you getting too specific about where your home is or whatever. So however you can do that without generalities, because again, we get a couple trolls in here coming from Twitter that are just lunatic Trumpers. And I don't, and this isn't about politics. This is about human lives. And so I don't want you to give away personal information that, about where you live or anything like that. So just tell people what you've seen, what happened.
Sure can. And again, it's been, we're all in this together kind of mentality, depending, no matter what side of politics you may be on. But
You're right.
there's been a real great collective conscious in finding better and getting through this event. Essentially, on Tuesday, we knew the winds were coming. There was a locally near where we are, not again giving addresses in Pasadena, Altadena. One guy who is a weather bug said this could be it. This is like a real 3 days before. He said, be prepared. I tend to be, low key about when I say, hey, you guys may have to evacuate. And then it all really materialized within about 10 to 15 minutes. It was really scary. I can send you some pictures, but it started about 2 miles away from where we were in Eaton Canyon National Park.
Okay.
It went up. It was just after dark. My
2
12-year-old,
miles away. Jeez. Go ahead.
yeah, 2 miles away. We are used to fires up higher in the mountain, but this was very close. And with the winds that were like going between 50, 60 miles an hour, this was a perfect storm. It's very rare. We had the driest winter for our rainy season since 1964, coupled with the windstorm. Again, the spark went up, and my neighbor, luckily, this guy Chris, knocked on the door and said, "Hey, this is serious. Come check it out. I think we're going to have to all go." My 12-year-old begged us. We were going to go out to like a sports bar just to chill and wait out the windstorm. He said, "We have to get the F out of here. Like, let's get in the car now." So, lo and behold, I'm getting in the car, and the other side, my wife Casey and my son Ethan are going to pack and go out in a few minutes. But I jumped in the car. It was like something out of a zombie apocalypse where you've got rocks and wind and smoke and everyone trying to get onto this main area of Altadena Drive. And luckily it wasn't too far to the highway, but you're
Right.
trying to get slalom past, you know, down trees, not as many down power lines. And in back, you can see like the smoke just going up. So we just drove right to my
Jesus.
folks, and there's stuff in the highway. It was literally you're cast in a zombie apocalypse or disaster movie, and you have no choice but to react to it.
Eli's going to write a movie about this, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. Hopefully, I'll have to have my head chopped off again.
So if you guys don't know, Adam's brother is horror director Eli Roth. So if you've seen any of the and writer, if you've seen any of the Hostel movies, if you saw
Cabin
Cabin
Fever.
Fever, where Adam
Yep.
was in
Thanksgiving.
the movie
Thanksgiving.
and his head turned into a bowling ball, which was kind of that was my favorite Adam, a shaved head, his head as a chopped off bowling ball. And Eli, I think in an image people use often, I don't think know that it's Eli, the Jew Bear from he played that role in Inglorious Bastards, where he beat the guy in the head with the baseball bat. But the guy was a
Yeah,
Nazi, and I think we can all agree that Nazis deserve baseball bats. Not that I'm advocating
absolutely.
violence, anybody. Not that I'm advocating violence. Okay,
That's it. The
so
Ted Williams special, right?
yes. So that's, I mean, Adam, I'll just say again, I think I say it earlier, like talented, incredible family. Your brother Gabe is a movie producer, you've been an author and a stand-up and an actor, and your mom does art showings at galleries. As I said, the Roths are like the most talented family ever created. And I used to hang out. Adam was one of my best friends, but we'd hang out with his brothers Gabe and Eli when we were all a bunch of dumb 20-somethings in New York. And I met Adam because of my first foray into politics, or one of them. I worked on the Clinton campaign polling operation in 1996, just out of college. And Adam was just working there by day so that he could do acting gigs at night. And of course, what we all ended up seeing were the disgusting behaviors, the various mistresses and other things of allegedly. Why don't we throw that out there so they don't sue us?
Allegedly
Of
bathroom activities with paraphernalia, from what we could
yeah,
see from other colleagues,
of
which was
one-time
very interesting.
Democratic pollsters, but of course, complete turncoats: Mark Penn, Doug Schoen, and Dick Morris. All wonderful people if you follow this world. But I'll take it away from politics again. I don't want to go into politics. I want to talk human stories. It's just funny that we met that way.
Cliff, we should definitely do it. Like you were talking about this, like we may be due for a tell-all book too at some point on that. Now it's kind of that's an interesting,
on
gonna throw
Penn,
that out
Schoen,
there.
and Dick
Just
Morris. I'm ready to write it when you are. I mean,
we
that
could be
place
sort of like a broken down Woodward and Bernstein version of that, like the
broken
poor
down.
man's Woodward and Bernstein
Yeah,
of
we'll be like,
Mistress Gate.
hi, we're 50-somethings with aches in our back. We can't meet in those like dark parking lots because we need to wear glasses. We can't see that well. But
Absolutely right, exactly. Yeah, we need hearing aids, and
that's our
we have
movie.
to take our Advil before standing in the parking lot.
We're middle-aged. Woodward and Bernstein. But the advantage of that is maybe we'll never sell out like Woodward did. So he could hold
Thank
terrible
you.
stories until his books would come out later so that we didn't know. Okay. Again, I'm delving into politics again. I don't want to. So what I'm going to do is we'll write that book, but let's get back to this. So your friends told you, your friend told you, I mean, that these embers are landing. You said to me, did one land like within 30 or 40 feet of your house? Did you say that?
Yeah, yeah. So here's what was going on. Like when we left, you don't know if your house, because you're just trying to get information. You don't know if your house is going to like make it or not, or what the status is. And we found out just from some pictures that there were rows of houses that did not make it 2 to 3 blocks south of us. McDonald's that we used to go to every week did not make it, and literally
Don't go to
we also
McDonald's
found
too often, though. I feel bad for the workers there, by the way. But
I as well. But this is like our small sleepy neighborhood. For us, we're amongst the lucky ones. We're essentially, our house was a lot like if you can think about like going full speed at the Grand Canyon in a sports car and slamming on the brakes. We made it to just the precipice. 80 feet away, our neighbor's house 3 doors down did not make it. It was burned from the
Jesus
inside.
Christ.
The embers on Wednesday morning got 2 doors down. Our other neighbors, Chris and Jennifer, their shed caught fire, which might have contributed to the neighbors 3 doors down. Our next door neighbor, the fence went up, and it wasn't for the Johnny on the spot brave fire crews that were flagged down. They put it out in time, and I probably would be, again, reporting on much different circumstances because 20 feet away was the point where the damage stopped.
My God. I mean, honestly, my God, I think about that. Like, I think about something like that landing 20 feet from my house.
And Cliff,
go ahead.
I was going to say about 6 hours before the event, I wound up like hosing the backyard and the planter just they always tell you, make sure you water down the roof, you water down the walls. And I had managed to put in about 10 minutes worth of water. So maybe, given there were some burning sticks that, landed in my driveway subsequently, keeping water on it for a few days may have also helped contribute to the house standing.
Well, that's amazing. So you're the hero of your story there, quite frankly, because you used some intelligence and common sense and did something about it. So I mean, again, it'd be easy to freeze up and panic, to have no idea what to do, and I'm not even criticizing anybody who does that, but because how often are we faced with anything like this? But it sounds
Yeah,
like you just jumped right in there and did the smart thing. So you do all of this, that 3 houses down, destroyed, and others. The fence, when that was caught on fire, you guys were able to put that out, so your neighbor's house was okay?
I heard it, like we weren't in the house because we had to evacuate, but like essentially neighbors across the street were waving their hands. And
Jeez.
luckily, like literally 300 feet on the other side of Altadena Drive, the fire crews couldn't get to those houses. That the structures were too gone, and literally they're still smoldering and burning. From the west side where we were, again, not to give addresses,
Yeah.
the fire crews had formed sort of like battalions that were staging areas about half a mile away from each, and were no more than 2 to 3 minutes. It was just by dumb luck, and again, it's all coincidental that like the fire truck was going by or the small crew came by and put it
Oh,
out at like early morning. Otherwise, again, much different circumstances. But again, we look, folks out there, we really appreciate all of your support. There are a lot of people in much dire circumstances than I am who really could use, there's a lot of Kickstarters for folks whose houses are completely decimated at, neighborhoods that are completely gone. They looks like a war zone here. So again, just being here and getting your support means a lot to the Roth family.
well, you guys, Finney family deserves everything. Every kind of help. I'd also say for other folks, what I'll do for all of you, I don't have these on me. I didn't, but if I come across, I'll look out there, and maybe Adam, if you know some of them for people that if there's some Kickstarters you want to share with me, you guys are, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the YouTube. And I mean, you don't have to subscribe for this, but if you go to my YouTube on my community wall, I'm going to start posting some kicks, excuse me, some Kickstarters when I get off from here. I'm done talking to Adam, and let's all do everything we can. I mean, look, I want to help everybody I can there, but it's hard to know. As you know, people always scam these situations and always evil people. So if you have ones you want to share, because I would trust you with my life, quite literally, I know that you'll send sort of friends of yours and other people that honestly are in dire circumstances, and if I can help them in any way with the platform I have by putting that up there, I would really like to do that.
That would be above and beyond. I could definitely do so. We
Oh,
we know, of course,
it's
you know, I,
humanity. It's basic humanity. I mean,
yeah, I can give you some more stories here if you have a moment or
oh no,
two,
I,
if
I
you
I'm
wish.
please do. I want to know more. You told me a really incredible one earlier. I know there was some looting, which led you to certain situations. Just talk about the looting a little bit, maybe, but then I want to hear the positives of, you gave me a great story related to that, a positive.
Definitely, I can color that for you here, Cliff, and America here. Literally, what I wasn't expecting was a block or so away from us. Luckily, we have a lot of like neighborhood presence, around the clock, and not much of it happens right on our block. But one block over, there was looting on the first night while there was the high danger and high winds and debris everywhere. Luckily, it didn't reach our street. There were about three streets down. They had break-ins, but luckily, again, it's been mitigated. A couple blocks north of us is where it really gets really rough and really challenging. But here's a neat little story. I was out yesterday checking on the house with my wife Casey, and essentially 4 trucks roll up by us, SUVs, and it's a bunch of folks in Raiders gear, and I was like, okay, this could be
And you just
interesting
can't
right here.
trust Raiders fans, as we all know, obviously.
They saw my
I'm just
Patriot
kidding.
hat. They were like, wow, you even stopping to help a Patriots fan here, man. Good thing I didn't wear my Vinatieri jersey. But they were saying, like, they said to me, it was like multiple generations um, of families in these trucks with water and food, and they said, "Do you need anything? Do you need any help?" I said, "Look, we're again amongst we count ourselves as the fortunate folks here. I'm just watering down the house again, just to protect it." Um, but that really was really touching. He said, "Look, man, we're all equal here. We're all trying to help." And I think that was one of the indomitable spirits of, as they say about America, is that like everybody really, it's a collective conscious and a wonderful caring community in that way. A lot
We
of
can,
people have been going to the Rose Bowl to help
no,
out
you
too, which has
finished.
been awesome.
Yep.
No, I was going to say the Rose Bowl has a great, control center where trucks with supplies and with, brigades who can go and help out are stationed, and they've
That's
been really good
awesome.
about getting to all of those areas. Again, you're talking to somebody whose son had his junior high school, a portion of it caught on fire. A 1920s auditorium is gone. The next day, his high school gym was on fire. My other son's preschool, it's gone. I mean, he's long graduated, but so many of these
Well, but
neighborhoods no
still,
longer
other
exist.
people rely on that. Even if you don't, there's memories there for you, but for them, this is what they rely on every day. And now alternatives are going to need to be found. And I don't, we won't get into all that because I don't know what those alternatives are, and I don't know if anybody does yet. But what else? Are there any other structures, essential sort of structures that were?
Sure, absolutely. The police, the Altadena sheriffs, I think that was compromised. Our dentist, up at Alta Dental, I haven't heard anything about that. It may be gone, which is near the school that went up.
Yeah.
My trainer had an interesting story. His house was the only one standing around his street, and
Jeez.
it was the fires knocked out the windows, so he's going to have to just call it a loss. He can't. It's going to be red tagged, but everything else he showed me was right to the ground.
Ugh.
It's again,
I, I-
I,
so
it's
go ahead.
no. Go ahead. You had a question. Go for it, sir.
Well, I was going to ask. I think I apologize for my stupidity. When you say the windows were broken, so it's going to be red tagged, does that mean they have to take down the entire place, or what does
Yeah,
that
it's
mean
it's
exactly?
uninhabitable. They can never go back. They can go
Uh,
and get their stuff out, but it's essentially it's a total loss.
is their stuff
Um,
all lost, or is any of that like?
Fortunately, I was going to offer to he's a trainer around Altadena and Pasadena. This guy Stephen Cooper is his name.
Yeah.
I was going to offer this to store his workout equipment and all that just for classes. But again, some of these small businesses, and that's been the Altadena hardware stores, a nice, kindly little small town hardware store where everybody got their stuff. That whole little block is gone. Um, so again, all these small businesses, I don't know where you begin to pick up the pieces, but again,
No, I
with the
mean,
support out here from good folks around the country, there may be some hope down the road.
I hope. I mean, God, I hope so, and I hope that. I remember during during COVID, there was the PPP. There were people who were able to access some funds. Again, I don't know how it all works, whether it's, some will be federal, some will be state, but I hope people who lose businesses, because I can't imagine, again, I'm sitting here right now, this channel is one of my three small businesses. And, if I lost the main one, I would be in a lot of trouble financially. And so I can't imagine that happening to somebody. I mean, I'm sure some people have various forms of insurance for their stuff, but I hope that there are aid programs to those. Cause again, people don't realize, small business can be, I think at mine, there's about 6, 7 people, You know what I mean? But small businesses are up to 50 people. And now you can be talking about compounding one after another people, 30 jobs gone here, 26 jobs gone there, 14 gone. I mean, this becomes not just an individual heartache story, but it becomes an economic calamity. And that needs to be taken care of. I mean, we need to step in. This is people who did nothing, and we're again, as you pointed out. I mean, I'm thankful that you were lucky and your house is in the right place. But I mean, it doesn't make me not feel horrible for those people that were in the wrong place, right? I mean,
Yeah, definitely. We're asking again for whatever Gavin Newsom and the government can do to help out those people, just to the north of me and just to the west of me. We know a lot of people who are no longer, with a home and or a business, and any sort of help would be, again, at least a step away from what's gone on here. Thank you, Cliff.
yep,
I think that's a really good way of putting it, is like, the thing I learned about this is having an emergency plan in place, and just a couple, it's not an overly involved set of steps, but getting into the mindset where you have to do X, Y, and Z in those first couple of minutes is so important, just so you
yeah.
can, one, evacuate and stay safe, and two, bring what matters most. Because it's interesting enough, I ran out of there with nothing, essentially just the clothes on my back with my son Ryan. Luckily, Casey was able to
Did you
take
think
10 or
of maybe
15 minutes.
like, did you think to yourself, what, maybe if I just have the ability to bring one thing, like I just grab a suitcase full of my favorite stuff and ditch Ryan there, or no?
That's yeah. Here, Ryan. Here's a hose. Good luck. That was the exact words
That's a
to him, by
dad
the way.
of young boys joke. I'm sorry.
No doubt, no doubt. And Cliff,
um,
by the way, you would be so excited that, like, I did run out with my baseball cards. But my wife got the baseball cards, but I brought my Red Sox hat from the 2007 champs.
you know what, dude? I am happy because I don't get, there's the part of my soul that was crushed into a million pieces when the Red Sox won. And then there is the part of me that is a baseball fan, and no 2017 World Series hat should ever be burned. And then there's the part of me that freaking loves you like a brother and would not want any damn thing of yours. I don't care what it is to get burned. So I mean, I joke, but in quite serious, I'm glad you got the things that were, and I joke about the kids or whatever. I'm glad you got your family, and I'm glad you got other items that were that important to you out. I mean, the bigger deal, of course, is that it seems thankfully that what you didn't get out was going to be okay too. But still, very thankful that you were able to get out of there and everything else. What tell me about so you're, and again, no specific addresses, but I know, and more in the Hollywood area, Eli's there, Gabe is there, your parents are there.
Yep.
What happened with all of them?
Well, it was kind of an interesting, between the last 72 hours. Night number two, when we got over to my parents' house, Runyon Canyon's fire started up. Just, because with winds of this magnitude out here, and it being amongst the driest winters on record in the last 100, 150 years, not since 1964. There was a fire that was started over by Runyon Canyon here over in the Hollywood Hill, and Eli and his wife Victoria had to evacuate. His wife Victoria is expecting um, very
Oh,
soon,
wow.
and they had a dog, and they came over to my folks, and the look on Eli's face, I recognize that look where, like, the first 20 or 30 minutes is you cannot believe this is going on, and you have to sort of get into, just taking a step back and making sure that you can just methodically get to safety and figure out what you need, because that
Like
falls
you have
in
to
place
process
fairly
it, right?
quickly.
Like you go from shock to like, initially to okay, pull this together, time to process this. I don't want to get into, I don't want to make this about me. And I go, there have been a couple times in my life. And of course, one of them I know well, when I was
Yeah,
down at
yeah,
Ground Zero on 9/11 and saw the
yeah,
second plane hit and was on my way to, I mean, I was on my way to those buildings. I would have been there 10 minutes later. And I had to get past the shock of I could have been there because I was working a campaign that day. It was primary day in New York, blah, blah. I don't want this to be about me, but just the point of, I think you feel that initially, and then something kicks in to all of us. Like, I don't care, it's not about being a hero. Something kicks in and I just started running in that direction initially because I was like, can I be helpful? Are there people there that were hurt, falling debris and God knows what else? And so I bet, Eli, all of you, you're in shock at first, but then it's sort of you kick into what can we do? How can we save what we need
Right,
to save for
right.
ourselves? How can we help other people? I'll let you take it from there.
No, I was going to say to that point, what my family was going through Wednesday night was what we were going through Tuesday night. So it was sort of history repeating itself. I had to just immediately hose my dad's house down. My brother Gabe came by to help my dad pack and my mom
So
pack.
you peed on your
And
dad's
luckily,
house?
what's that?
Sorry, I'm still me, Adam. I can't help it. You said you hosed it down. So I said you peed on I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, yeah, absolutely. Hey, guilty as charged for peeing in the yard, and maybe all that peeing in the yard has come in handy.
Hey, if
Finally.
it puts the fire out, I mean, I used to go through Brussels in Belgium. They have that little statue to mannequin piss, the little kid that supposedly peed and put the house out of fire. There's actually a statue. In any case, go ahead. I'm being a jackass. Go.
I'm going to have to get that statue now, though. Honestly, no jackassery here. This was like actually, I might put that in my backyard, right by where the fire stopped.
Yeah.
But essentially, we sort of going through what happened on Tuesday. We got down to, if you look behind me, my brother lives over here in Toluca Lake, which is studio adjacent. Luckily,
Yep.
they didn't have to evacuate, but luckily, Eli and his wife got out. My folks got to safety for a few hours. And again, it's interesting when you lose your evacuation spot, you then have to go and start looking for hotel rooms. And you wind
Which
up
I bet is
needing
incredibly easy, right?
It was a 2 minute. No, make that 2 hours and 20-minute ordeal.
Yeah.
We finally found one by Disneyland. We had to go all the way down to Disneyland to get a hotel.
Those bastards. Disney finds a way to profit off of everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's Mickey Mouse and FEMA are just synonymous. It's wonderful. They hand you like Disney princess skirts for the kiddies as well as mouse ears, and there's a very nice Star Wars exhibit in the lobby of the Hilton. As you're rolling your suitcase and semi-burned
I love you
clothes.
because I love that again, everybody is safe and your family, and it's so important. But you still have gone through a trauma, and you're just the best because you will never lose your sense of humor. And I will know that for all time, until the two of us kick off of this planet, that we'll be joking with each other. So I'm glad. I mean, that makes it again, that warms my soul that you're still able to joke and that you're still able to smile and, but continue. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, once this is all over, I will do a celebratory pee in my backyard on your behalf and the statue's behalf.
Okay, make sure the picture is taken, and I'll send you the picture of mannequin piss. I mean, you can't just go steal that statue because it's kind of like one of their biggest tourist attractions in Belgium, in Brussels. So they may notice it's gone. But if you want, we could try to pull off like an Ocean's 11 kind of heist and have some overly complex plan that involves all sorts of wires and tricks and fake personalities.
Right, exactly.
When really we could
I
just
know
have
a guy.
guys.
Hey, I heard you can pee in a yard. I can fix that. Now we have a problem. Oh, let's go to this guy. Hey, this guy, what's going on? Oh, yeah, I got something that can fix that. It's about an hour and a half if I can fix that, guys.
Right, instead of all of their plans, three of us with a saw could go and get it. But we're going to Ocean's 11 it and make it ridiculously complex, where somebody has to come down on like a rope, like Mission Impossible, and we're going to do that, and we'll steal.
Right, and we'll have Elliot Gould pee in the backyard as well.
So people get out. You took you 2 hours and 20 minutes, but you did get a hotel room. All of your homes are safe. Yes, everybody, right?
Not necessarily, because we hear people about looting on the streets. So we're 40 miles away from the house going like, hey, it could be standing. It may not be standing.
Jesus.
Somebody might have helped themselves to an old Sony TV and an old PC and some more baseball cards I didn't get to. But hey, our house may still be standing.
And what he's
We,
trying to say is, if you find somehow wander into Adam's house, there's absolutely nothing of value. So don't bother. Just go to the next place. You know what I mean? You're just going to step in a big
absolutely,
pile of feces, and they've made sure to litter the floor with rat traps, as well as alligators. So you
absolutely, yeah.
shouldn't bother to
There are
go into
fire
Adam's house.
trained alligators around around the circumference of my house, along with some stray peacocks and parrots. And my neighbor Ralph, who apparently would not vacate, but luckily he and those guys were part that saved the house by staying. Um,
So
But yeah,
what I'm
and
saying
can I
is,
say, like
yeah, sure. Go
my
ahead.
neighbor
Go ahead.
Dave. This is an interesting story. On the first night, my neighbor Dave, who had been like, he's a health inspector for the city, for city of LA. He drove in around 10 o'clock and at 2 o'clock in the morning just to see if he can get through. And it was really hard because there's a lot of barricades. He checked in. He said, it looks like our street is okay by some grace of God. Other streets, not so much. You know, she watching like multiple houses burning. So I got to give a shout out to Dave as well. He was just he gets the Coolidge
Dave.
Avenue Medal of Honor.
No, that's outstanding. Okay, so let's put it this way. It seems like at the moment, homes are safe from fire. Looting is still a concern. The police are there in these areas. They've been shut down, entrance into them. Like, what do we got going on with people who are get paid to theoretically protect your homes? And I'm not making an obnoxious statement because I get it. It must be an overwhelming task at the moment. But with that said, it is still their job. Are they doing it? or do you feel like there's some sense of your home is being protected by
A,
folks? Or
a resounding yes, a resounding that yes to
okay,
that, and
good.
to the Pasadena Altadena sheriffs. There have been so many auxiliary forces, both on the fire and the police side. It's been a godsend. Literally on our main block below us, there's police checking, and there's a curfew between six. If and any looters may be out there, please be sure to show your IDs over by the checkpoints below us and above us because they're out there patrolling, and it's a wonderful thing. So I have nothing but good things to say about the police
Good.
force. They were out there early, within about 15 minutes from that fire going on. We were leaving, and all these brave folks had like a conga line of fire trucks, auxiliary vehicles, and police racing right up to around to Eaton Canyon.
Hey,
So
can I ask
the
you something?
response was
One of the
instantaneous.
sorry, finish that, and I want to ask you a
No, the
comment you had.
response was
Right.
nearly instantaneous for what they had to juggle. It was nearly instantaneous. They couldn't get to everything. It's understandable, but hey, their presence was very much felt though.
That's awesome. So somebody. Let me get the right handle. So Psych Nurse, one of our commenters, asked if water tank planes were going over the top. Like, are they going and dropping water?
The first night, because the winds were so fierce, like 90 miles an hour coming off the top of Mount
Jesus.
Wilson, they couldn't. So there was that aspect to the
Like
perfect
they even
storm.
shut down
They-
Burbank Airport, I had heard, right?
yeah, and actually, funny enough, that's right behind me. That's the best shot, but the planes are coming and going. When we got to our house, luckily by about 24 hours, they started to, do the water drops and the chemical drops. But they are now able to do that. And usually, because where we are, the TV towers for all of LA are right by us. Unfortunately, one of the main transmitters was taken by the fire as well. But my point is, by day two, they were able to start doing that and at least control a little bit.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, every bit helps, right? So, um, where do things stand in general right now? I mean, there were a couple different fires that I read about in different areas. Have any of those been put out, or are they all still going?
As far as I
If you
know,
don't
a
know
portion
if you
are.
know the answer to that, obviously you're not a news person, and I get. So I'm just asking in case you know. If you don't know, just you don't know. I mean,
I'll, I'll,
it's
I'll tell you what I saw. How about that? I
yeah.
know there's been a lot of, as much as going on in Pasadena, Altadena, the Palisades has had full communities just completely leveled, with just maybe a few houses standing, like completely leveled. And I'm sure, your sister Elise is still over in, that near that section as well. She could probably tell you as well. What I
Well,
do
actually,
know.
I don't. I think you forgot. She actually moved back to the East Coast. She did used to
Okay,
live in
so
that area. No,
so everybody out there, Elise is safe. Elise is safe from the events.
yeah, yeah. She moved. A bunch of years ago. She moved back from LA. But in any case, yes, that was the area she was. Glendale, somewhere around there.
Yep, that's
Um,
adjacent to us. There, it's a little
yep.
bit better there. So essentially, when I was there yesterday, you could see from we have a view of the mountains, like the four sections that were still burning, but they were over more toward the other side of the mountain looking north. Where Eaton Canyon was literally right next door. It's about a 10-minute walk from where I am, where my house stands. So um, it's in a better spot where there's less of a chance, but there's still a chance because they're very dry conditions right now. A lot of the embers, there's no flaming embers. There's a lot of white ash, which is actually reasonably good news because it's not live. The fires essentially are starting
Right.
to run out of fuel for themselves. Um, but there's about 15,000 acres, from what I understand, just as far as a hard number, and countless structures in the thousands. So that's what I can see so far. I'm going to go in about a half an hour with my wife to go sweep out ash out of my house. Take out some of the smoke. Open the windows. Again, there's no power. The water is toxic. We can't walk into our house probably into next week, and my kids are getting dumber by the hour because there was no school. Like that's probably good news for
Well,
them. So lots more YouTube, which is great.
that's right. Well, they don't get what my kids got here on Monday and Tuesday. They got snow days. You guys don't get that out there. So they got
Please, if
something
you
a
can
little bit.
send us snow days, please,
I was
please.
gonna say, dude, like I wish. I mean, it's just so freaking annoying. I came. Some people here came from Tony Michael's show that was on before me. A friend of mine. He's in the Ozarks, which is where he does his show from. I'm doing mine from Cincinnati. We both are getting not only got hit by 12, 14 inches of snow, whatever, the beginning of this week, but now today, in an hour or two, we're supposed to get hit by another 2 to 4 inches. I swear, if I could just, if those jerks who wrote Star Trek could learn faster how to transport crap, if they could create a damn beaming station so I could send you some snow, but no, they're out there making more Star Trek movies and not actually doing anything that help. I'm just kidding. I wish
The
I mean,
legacy of Gene Roddenberry, where you have disappointed us so greatly to not be able to teleport a full bank of snow for us to put out over in and keep by the. We could keep all that snow by the Rose Bowl. Let's put it that way. That would be great.
right? I mean, honestly, though, it's like I joke, and yet it's so frustrating, right? It's like I'm digging out of freaking snow here and ice and getting my car out of it and shoveling a driveway. And the fun thing about shoveling a driveway is, even though, I go to the gym and I do stuff, you always use weird muscles or do it at weird angles that you never do. So it's like, ow, just the left side of my lower back bleeding.
Right,
you
right.
it's like so I mean, like all of that and like, man, like if I could just hand over all that damn snow to you, I mean, oh, it's so
We need to
frustrating.
dude. We need to have like an app that has a trading post where you could like take 72 just haphazard 72-degree days and trade it for all of that snow and rain because you wouldn't know how much people
Right.
would give right now for a day of rain out
It's
here
like carbon
or a
credits.
snow
It'd be
day.
like weather credits, and you trade them. And I could send you snow some days. You send me 72 degrees on other days, and or we either just need like the longest tube in like the world and just have it
Yes,
go from here to there, and I'll just go, and like the snow will just shoot through there, and then I'll go lightheaded and pass out.
like
But
1950s, like ad agency style tubes going through with messages.
the exact see, you know what I'm talking. Like they show them in John Wick, like that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind
Yep.
of thing. We need that going out your way, like so that we could just shoot snow out there. And again, whoever hasn't worked on that, you suck. I mean, you're wasting your time on stuff that we don't need. Listen, I got to be honest with you. We don't need more boner pills. There's like 14 different brands. Okay,
Right. It
get on
seems
this.
like half 50% of the 50% of the commercials. If someone designed that app, that would help humanity a lot more than just
Oh my
well. The other thing does help out, but again, it
But
is good to have both
I'm
things.
not
The
saying it
best of
doesn't
both
help out.
worlds.
I'm saying how many different brands of that crap do we need? I mean, we already have enough of those. Maybe we
It's a
should go
boner
with.
pill and it's a fire retardant. There's a duality to it. There you go.
Oh my God, yes. If it could do both, wow. Imagine the
Yep.
sales pitch on that. That would be amazing. Um,
Oh man.
what would I? So what am I getting here? I'm looking at comments. Cliff, search out and buy a Snow Joe shovel. Great, but simply back friendly design. Okay, thank you. Actually, I appreciate that, Carl Jacobson. I'm gonna Snow Joe shovel. I'm gonna write that down so that I don't destroy my back because it's gonna do this crap again today, and I may need to
And
do some
again,
more
not to keep
shoveling.
the humor blue here, but there's your sales pitch right there. It's the Snow Joe and Blow pill.
It's a Snow, a
It
Joe, and a
brings in the
Blow.
snow and then some other benefits as well.
Did we? So you're saying it's a friend with benefits? Is what it is?
Exactly.
Well,
Right. It's a
listen, man.
weather friend with benefits.
This show, we talk about a lot of serious topics, and I don't think there's any one topic we've ever talked about where I haven't found some point where I've made jokes. And humor is integral to me. If I'm going to carry forward and be optimistic about everything in this universe, humor is essential to everything that I do. And I know you're
Right.
that way too, because we used to, hang out and whatever, and like the craziest crap could be happening, and we would find ways to make jokes about it because you have to. Yeah, like it's just. I'm sorry, you have to. It doesn't mean we can still take this very seriously. It's Clover Cliff. Don't you have able-bodied sons? I do, and they helped out. And I'm telling you, trust me, they were helping out. They're actually pretty strong, both of these guys. But when you have like when you've got 14 inches of snow, when it's in your backyard, and in your car port area, and in your driveway, and on the street in front of you, because nobody could get there yet, and like there is a lot of stuff to clear out. So I mean, and the sidewalks around you, like this is. I mean, I can't describe it except for to take a picture of my house. And again, I'm not doing that. It's already easy enough for some crazy person to try to come find me. I don't need to make it easier. But but I don't live in some mansion, I promise you. But there's enough space there when you count the back and the driveway and the front that that's a multi-hour project. If I had done it on my own, I would have been out there at least like 3 hours. I mean, again, it didn't get warmer, so this is like packing snow that you could just get rid of. It got colder, so this was all ice. So you're breaking through like that hard snow to try to get rid of it. All right. It was not easy. And so yes, thankfully, my kind 18 and 15-year-old boys joined me in that. So did my wife, Anne, who's tougher than all three of us put together. Did a lot of it. Like, no one, there's no sexism around here. Everybody was involved. We all do the best that we can, you know.
The family
But
that shovels together stays together.
there you go. There you go. So so you go today, you're going to look at the house, sweep up some stuff, hopefully, knock on wood, everything is still good there.
Yeah, hopefully, the looters have not taken my glass menagerie collection and my Build-A-Bear set. So again, hopefully that's all intact. Talk to the
Build-A-Bear,
neighbors.
by the way, invented here, Cincinnati, just going to say.
No way. Okay, okay.
Oh yeah, we build those freaking bears, okay, like a mofo. But you know what? If they took your Build-A-Bears, I think that's sort of a declaration of war. And I feel like
Absolutely.
I feel like that leads me to like your old city you're from, and I think of the movie The Town, which is if somebody took your Build-A-Bears, you could just come by my house and say, Cliff, I need you to go beat up some people with me. I'm not going to tell you who it is, and I'm not going to tell you why, and we're never going to speak of it again. I'd be like, when do we leave? It'd be
Right.
like that scene.
And along the way, I'm actually going to help Cliff rob Fenway Park.
Ooh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that I'd get in on. That looked like fun. Now, I'm just saying, anybody messes with you mess with Adam's Build-A-Bears, you mess with me. Okay?
Build-A-Bear, forget about it. Isn't that the tagline for it? That's Build-A-Bear, forget about it.
So on a totally different note, because it's fun, does Eli have a new horror movie coming out soon that he can work like a snow apocalypse into?
Snowpocalypse. Well, you know something? I think you know, I can't speak for the man with Thanksgiving too, as far as the status on that. But he did have Borderlands come out this summer. He had
That's right.
Thanksgiving last Thanksgiving, so you know, definitely has a lot in the pipeline. Gabe actually was working on the John Wick doc last I definitely knew. And he had a
Fantastic.
show, he had a movie Drugstore June that came out about half a year or so back.
And when are we gonna get your next children's book?
Okay, I'm gonna get to work on that as
You
well.
need to
Maybe there could be
plug.
some.
You need no. You need to plug your let's see. What's the link to that awesome book that I tried
Oh,
to help
checking
out
up
with?
on daddy.com. I think still on iTunes.
Up
Again,
on
reviewed
Daddy.
by some really cool folks I know who, although have Yankee allegiances, were very cool to do so. It was a runner up on a national grant back, some years back, but did get some heat. And
So,
it's checking up on daddy. It's really about parenting in that first year and getting to know who your child is,
but funny
and
as
learning
hell.
how to
Wow.
juggle all those crazy things that happen with becoming and learning about being. You know, in India they say not only a child is born, but a parent is also born.
Yeah. Well,
So that's
I mean,
also true with
s-
this book.
and again, you bring the humor to it. So where can we? Is it? Let me go to Amazon. I don't want to go to Amazon. I don't like Jeff
It
Bezos.
should be. It's on iTunes as well. They Warner Brothers some years back also made an ebook of it, which is kind of cool for like back in the iPad boom days as well.
What's
Uh,
a what? Let's see. Abe Books. Abe Books. I don't even know who that is. I know I've seen it before, but I'm going to put the link in here because the hell with that, guys. You know what? You want to do something amazing? Go buy some of Adam's books. Get them as gifts for people. Get them for yourself because he may not. You know, he may not have. Well, that came out in two. Did that come out right? It looks like it.
it came out a while back,
But
but
no.
again,
I'm
still
looking at
relevant
my
for like folks with a year old children and younger. So again,
checking up on Daddy. I put the link to to this book place, but if I have to, again, people also can go find it other places. And as I said, I'm not an enormous fan of Amazon these days
Hey,
because
Cliff, can I throw this on as well? My
yeah,
younger son is a big Rubik's Cube guy, and he's competing in the international competition up in Seattle.
Jesus, I've
He
seen
has
those
a
videos. Like it's crazy what your son can do.
yeah. If you want to see some of the videos, the Big 110 is on YouTube. So appreciate that. He has
I'll
it's
share
a
it up
really
on
good.
my wall, Adam. Send it to me, and I will put it up on my community wall, which is sort of like, almost the Instagram section of YouTube because they try to compete with everybody. Like they let you live stream from YouTube to compete with Twitch. They're everything, and so if you do that, and I'm just putting up the Amazon thing here. You don't have to buy it at Amazon, folks, but I know that link will work. So, right, I see what you're saying, Psych Nurse. No Amazon for me. Again, I try not to also because I'm very angry at Jeff Bezos right now. But I would tell you is you can find if you find that book there, then you can go plug it into Google and buy it from a better bookseller who you like. And
Very well played.
I'm
Well
just trying to
played.
tell you that I want you to be able to find the book because Adam is a brilliant writer and funny. And even if he has not gone through the trauma of losing his house, he has gone through the trauma of dealing with this, of going and spending God knows what on a hotel and other things. And so, anybody who wants to help Adam out, please do. He
Hey,
deserves it. And he's go ahead.
just thinking in a macro scale here, just for those kids who have been displaced right now, who may also be speed cubers, definitely take a look at what the World Cubing Association is doing. If you have kids, it's a great way to get the kids out post COVID and learn some cool skills, some problem solving skills, and meet some really intelligent children out there.
So,
But it's
which of
very
your kids is
competitive.
it?
It's Ryan. Ryan is the younger. Ethan could do it in like under 30 seconds, but Ryan's the between. He averages around 8 seconds or so right now on a three by
Jesus.
three.
I thought like that went away with like, the hula hoop skirts and stuff, but it's
Oh man,
back.
no,
It's
it
back
is
with a
definitely the
vengeance.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots takes a backstage. There's
Hmm.
competitive, in China and in Asia, they have schools and they have much larger competitions for speed cubing. It's really a much grander macro scale than I thought too. But the kids here, it's a great community. They're very welcoming. All they compete against the adults too. So it's like the Hunger Games in a way. So it's
Right.
again, it's a great activity. And again, it gets the kids out again to go and be active and be social.
Dude, I have his personal records here. They have like the World Cube Association. I don't know what almost any of these mean, but it looks
Tell me
pretty
what they is.
freaking cool.
I can tell you because I have to judge.
NR, CR, WR. This is like baseball.
Exactly.
What's his
Yeah.
WRC plus, Adam? I'm just kidding. I don't know what
Well,
NR, like 3x3x3 cube, 2x2x2 cube.
yep.
Like, I don't know. I'm putting that in the
Well,
chat here too because people may want to look at it and find it fascinating that your son is a freaking genius. And what a shock coming from your family, where
I
people
guess it skips
clearly.
a generation over here, so that's how it goes, you know. But again,
Yeah.
it's a great group. Ryan he's good at the 2x2, the Pyraminx. He can get the Pyraminx done in a few seconds. The Megaminx, it's sort of like is it a 7-sided deal? He can do that in about a minute and 15.
I
But
didn't even know those
they put
existed.
yeah, 4x4. The 2x2 he's done, I've seen him do in about half a second. That's crazy. But um, there's a whole group of you see the same kids too, like just going and doing their thing on these. But it's again, Max Park is sort of like he's like the Michael Jordan. And when your kid has to go up against Max Park in the final 16 every time, you know Max Park is going to win, generally speaking. But it's nice to be there to compete against him.
So let me. Do you know where he stays ahead of time? Like, can we Nancy Kerrigan him?
That's it. Now, Max Park, as we know,
That was
he's
an
a
awful
big
joke.
guy.
I'm sorry.
He's an incredible. Like in all seriousness, he's like if you ever see like the speed cubing doc on Netflix, he's like the individual who's autistic, but he solves incredibly fast. And I've had to judge him
Cool.
before. And there's another
I
guy, Brendan
haven't, but I'm
Dunnigan.
going to watch it now just because you're.
Yeah, Max Park is the guy. It's incredible and very inspiring. I wouldn't kneecap him. The funny thing is, Max may not necessarily travel by boat. So sometimes, if it's like on Catalina Island where my son is one, that's about the only time it's a mad scramble to try and win those competitions when Max can't travel by boat.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then just make sure to keep. We don't have to kneecap him. Just make sure he has to stay on dry land and can't go anywhere.
There you go.
And
That's
then,
it. That's it. Water.
Okay.
Water seems to be the
So
cure.
I'm probably going to end this soon because I didn't plan to do one today. And of course, I knew it's like, I'm going to talk to Adam for 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And of course, I could talk to you all day on here. So
He never learns. He never learns.
no, that I don't have that ability. I think it started with cavemen, touch fire and it burns you kind of thing. Ouch. Oh, I can't even believe I just said that. Jesus Christ. I've done that twice now. Okay, caveman. No, what else can come up? Jumps in water and doesn't know how to swim. How about that? Is that a better? In any case, point being, I don't know how to. I just I always am thinking. What I forget is, and this happens with numerous guests, and in some ways, I'm actually really excited about that. Is that I mean, you're one of my best friends ever, but the people I have on this show, I have a rule. And some of them are incredibly talented people, some of them are famous people, some of them aren't. Doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is that they have very interesting lives and that they're as good people off camera as they are on. That they're the same person. You fit into all of that. Obviously, this was a special thing too, because I wanted you to give your perspective on everything, but that's my rule for it. So with all of that said, like to round this up, what do you think? Going forward are there things that California, or let's just call it right now, the Los Angeles area can do for more prevention in the future? Is it, how are you thinking about things in the future? Has it affected your thoughts about where you're living, the specific area in general? I mean, what are the thoughts on anything you want to say as kind of like a closing sort of summary here?
Oh yeah, I could totally take the ball here. Definitely there, Cliff. Having worked back there at Warner Brothers for search and rescue, 60 to 65% of emergency preparedness is having that plan in place, practicing it a little bit. So I think for anyone with families and homes, it's really important just to sort of have an exit strategy. I know again, having a kit that's ready just to throw in a car within 5 to 7 minutes is important. That's a big takeaway here.
What should be in that
And
kit? I, you know,
well,
I can think of common sense stuff like water, but is there what am I not thinking of?
what I should be putting in my car going forward: change of clothes, batteries, water, protein bars, a charger, um, and things of that nature are a good start. You'd be surprised how quickly it becomes about 5 to 7 things that are really important to sort of
I bet.
grab and go. Most people, and I've talked to people who just had the clothes on their back, they ran out of their houses and may never get the chance to go back in. So that's my thought on that. Again, I'm overwhelmed with all the support that, again, Cliff, you are my very, 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 very good and close and best for many, many years. Like we're talking 30 years, dude,
I
and
know.
that's a long time. So that support is really appreciated. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna grab my wife Casey. We're gonna check out what's going on. We're gonna continue to hose down the properties. Make sure you cut back brush. Make sure that you, again, have these things in place because you may not have more than 3 to 10 minutes to make a decision to make the jump. All right. It's where I'm as far as like my where I live and my dynamic is. It's a very Pasadena and Altadena are very nice hamlets within Los Angeles, and we really like being there. Through thick and through thin. So I know we're going to stay strong. It's one of the oldest cities as far as old cities go in Southern California. I want to still be a part of it. So I know a lot of people in much worse situations still want to as well.
I believe it. Again, look, man, in the Midwest here, there's tornadoes and there's snowstorms in places, there's hurricanes in parts of the country. Everybody has whatever, nobody's free of these kinds of things. So you decide where you love and I will say, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, obviously, your whole family I love. And so I'm happy that for at least so far, knock on wood, everything seems that, that your home's okay, you're okay. My heart goes out to everybody in Los Angeles. I have a number of other friends there. I've tried to call and text and reach out, and I'll be trying some more, make sure everybody's okay. But the last thing I just want to throw out there is it was funny because I've gone back and forth with some people on here as sort of a joke. When the Dodgers clobbered the Yankees in the World Series, it was sort of funny. I'd be like, "Hey, New York is," but I love to quote a man named Randy Newman. I love LA, and I actually do. Of the cities that I haven't lived in this country, there's nowhere I've spent close to as much time between when my sister lived there, you're living there, my friend Mylan, as you may remember, living there,
Yep,
and
Milo. Yep.
a couple other close friends. I've probably spent 2 to 3 months of my life in Los Angeles, quite seriously. Like, I've been out there a dozen and a half times, and we've gone out, here and there to Santa Monica, which is why that picture that I put as the thumbnail for this, it's so haunting of the pier and the fire behind it. We would just go and we get a hotel room and just for a spring break or something for the kids, and just go down and bike to Venice and walk around, and so I love so many things about LA. I love the city in general. I love the strength of the city. I love the courage of the city. I just love the mentality. There's just a lot, and so I am. It's not, and I'm not just saying that. I think you know that. You've talked to me off air, so I am. I am pulling for you in every single way one can be, not beyond you, just the town to come through this because we need Los Angeles. It's a terrific American city, and you know, again, I like we need to come out on the other side with LA even stronger. So,
Thank you
so
so much there, Cliff. Yeah, it's a very diverse city. It's a very interesting and dynamic a group that is going through this right now. And I know there's a lot of resolve, and there will be better days ahead. I'm just thankful that one, we're still standing, and we will stand, with all those who are in much more difficult situations than we might be at this moment. We're going to get through this and get to the other side.
I know it, man.
Pasadena, Altadena, they've been through some things. I know we're going to get through this.
Let me say one last thing too. As I saw somebody talk about, as plans for various things like chipping your cats or dogs, and we've done that with our cats and whatever. But I do want to say this. Just I'd seen something online. I shared it about the shelters being overrun with pets, and I am a dog and cat lover, like lover. All right. I mean, they are the most amazing. So for anybody that's anywhere in the LA area,
Yes, the
who,
Pasadena Humane Society. That's
if,
look. My wife Casey used to volunteer there
okay,
between jobs years ago. That is a
yep.
dropping point for blankets and for food and for pet supplies. That's a great point you bring up. They were
And
on
even if you can
KCAL
take
9.
pets in, because I saw they were they're getting to a point where they almost couldn't house all of them. So I'm saying to anybody, if you can even, like, if you're a pet lover, you can even just, house a pet for a few weeks and help a doggy or a kitty, please do. We've done that before. We fostered a kitty, of course, then we fell in love with the kitty and he's now a permanent addition. But point being, like, when a kitty was found in a box down the street, I would just say, anybody in that way too, obviously help humans, but I'm saying people forget sometimes about the pets, our doggies and kitties, and if you have space and you can take in any of them, please consider that too, because I was reading they were overwhelmed, and somebody said, and the horses, which may be true out there. I don't know as much about that,
Yep.
but if you've got space for horses, absolutely that too. And any other, again, I know the doggies and the kitties are the best. Any other pets that was Francie 275, by the way. We talked about the horses. Anybody else who you can think of other types of pets who may be, wandering the streets, and please, please.
I put out a feeder for the hummingbirds, and actually yesterday they finally came back. So that was a nice little silver line to see them back outside my son's window.
Yep.
So I made sure they were fighting over the food because the water because everything's so dry. So like I know it's snowy over there, but like bees and all the peacocks around here in Paris. Uh, again, we seeing them back a little bit was a sign that maybe things are improving.
But that, yeah, right. That makes you feel good. That's a great positive story to end on. So, you, my brother, you take care of yourself. You take care of your family. Um, thank you for this, because I wanted folks to get, an unvarnished, like, we're not overproducing like CNN, or creating scary headlines like Fox, or none of that crap. I just wanted people to actually do what, to it sometimes here. I mean, I do a lot of commentary, but here and there, maybe provide a service that this thing called the news used to provide, where it wasn't about it. It wasn't about ratings. If there's, I don't know how many people are here. There may be five. There may be 5,000. There may be 50,000. I don't really care if you're helping to educate folks about what's going on there, and give an unvarnished opinion. I felt like as soon as you and I talked and all that, I knew that today I don't normally do a stream, but I knew I had to do this. So you're
Thanks, man.
terrific.
And
Yeah.
if you guys want, I'll throw this out here. If you guys need another Roth report at some point when we are on the other side as far as safety goes and our home, I'm glad to do that too. Just putting that out there if you guys wish, and if your viewing and listening audience can tolerate me a few more minutes.
I believe they can, and I'm going to tell you that unless there is a revolt among them, because somehow they find the kind, charming, and wonderful Adam Roth somehow so utterly offensive that they can't hear from him again, which I see not being an issue. I'd love to have you back, Adam. Let's keep in touch, and when we think the time is right, and you can give an update. I don't care when it is. It could be one of the normal days when I do these things on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It could be a Friday. It could be a Monday, Saturday. I don't care. And it doesn't have to be at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock's the best, because I knew that Tony and Hal could probably send their folks over, and the more people that can see this and be educated about it and help and know what's going on, the better. So,
We
but we
appreciate you,
have to.
America. We really do. Thank you. Thank you for any
So,
support you can give the folks here who are definitely worse off than myself.
well, give my love to Casey, and you guys go check your house, make sure everything's okay, and get that boy Rubik's cubing. Okay, no, he doesn't get any time off. All right, just because you know
Yep. No YouTube for him. Well, more cubing and getting his times under
more
Max
Rubik's
Parks.
cube, less YouTube for him. There you go.
There you go. There's the t-shirt, man. And love to Ann and to the boys as well. All right. Again,
You're awesome.
thank you so
Thank you.
much for all of your support. Love you like a brother. You know that, Cliff.
Goes both ways, my friend. Love you too, pal. Take care and thanks for everything.
Okay.
Take care, bro. And now you have to figure out how to click yourself out.
No, okay. Can maybe in the chat they can post how I. Oh, there is a red button on the bottom right side that says
I'll remove
leave.
you. It's okay. I'll remove you. Don't worry about it. I'll remove you. I'm just gonna talk to people for 5 minutes and then I'm gonna head out.
Yes,
Take care,
not
buddy.
awkward whatsoever, right? Not awkward whatsoever, right?
Let's just stand there for a second, you know. So Adam, how's okay. Take care, bro.
No, please, let's go. I was just looking at my reading glasses versus my sunglasses. Should I wear sunglasses? Would I look cooler trying to go if
Okay.
my house is still standing?
Now I'm kicking you out. Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Well, I hope that was edifying. Adam is a fantastic guy and has a fascinating, as I told you, the background of his family. They're the most creative group of humans when you look at his entire family I've ever met. It's like authors and directors and producers and artists and they all do something somewhat different and they're all great at it. It's sort of incredible. Hopefully, some of the rest of us, some of that talent will drip down on us and maybe we can gain a little bit of it. Listen, this was not a plan initially. I thought of it last night, asked Adam if he wanted to do it. We didn't touch base till this morning. And so luckily, he got in touch with me earlier and I was able to kind of throw this together last minute because there were no plans for this today. So we'll be rebroadcasting this one a number of times, of course, for others that weren't able to make it right now and see it. In the meantime, thank you all for being here. This is what a community is. As far as I'm concerned, this is why I love doing this. And, I will be back on Tuesday. Unless there's something else like this that comes up in between, I'll be making shorter videos in between. So you can look for those at the YouTube channel. And where I will be, and I will start adding today the extra content to Patreon as has been promised. So you guys will see all of that. But to me, leaving right now and doing any kind of an ask for anything would be gauche. And so I'm not going to do that. What I will ask you to do is find a good charity that can help humans or pets in Los Angeles. And instead of giving anything to me, give a little bit of money to that and to help the people out there. I think that will be a really great thing to do. That's about it. So let's go into the weekend thinking about everybody else and hoping for the best in Los Angeles. And you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. That's it. All right. Take care. And as we like to say here, when Siri doesn't bust in, you see, I almost made it with the mic working 100% the whole time, but I got rid of Siri quickly. As the sun sets slowly in the west, I bid you all fond farewell.